So, Grandpa, did we have any Indian princesses in our family tree?
The idea of an Indian princess is an English thing. We had speakers and headmen.
So, did we have any chiefs in our family?
Yeah, if you go far enough back, we had headmen in our family.
So, I'm descended from Chief Sitting Bull, so that means one day I'll be chief, huh?
First off, take that eagle feather off your head. That's very disrespectful to wear an eagle feather if you didn't earn it. That was something someone earned. The eagle is very sacred to us. That's something that we're going to have to talk about one day. Let's take a trip to the Citizen Potawatomi Cultural Heritage Center and delve a little deeper into this stuff.
I'm looking for a picture book of Potawatomi war bonnets.
The Potawatomi never traditionally wore war bonnets.
What? No, war bonnets. So what did we wear?
We would cut our hair in a style called a scalp lock, or wear an otter turban like the one I wear on my head, or a head roach. Also, a lot of our people wore turbans wrapped around their heads. Even more wore suits and other such things after French contact. I have some early George Winter and family pictures we can look at here on the computer.
Well, at least we hunted buffalo.
No, actually we really didn't hunt many buffalo until we were moved to Kansas at gunpoint. We mostly ate fish, wild rice, picked berries, gardened, and hunted deer and small game. That's all Hollywood stereotypes.
Removed by gunpoint. Whoa, that sounds crazy. Let's talk about that.
It was called the Trail of Death. We can talk about that another day. Back to the whole leadership idea. We need to go a little deeper into that and talk about clans, or dodam.
Grandpa, what do you know about the Wu-Tang Clan?
Still number one.
Not the Wu-Tang Clan. When a person is born, they were part of a clan, and they also had a birth color.
I'm cool with being in a clan, but I ain't wearing a kilt like in Braveheart. Ah! Sweet, we had totem poles and everything?
No, it's not like that. Totem poles are something northwestern tribes make.
So, how does someone figure out what clan they are?
Our society followed a patrilineal system. So you were part of your father's clan.
So it's like a gang? Do they beat you in?
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Cho Nui. You were born into it. The clan helped organize society. Certain clans had certain roles. Let's listen to Tig Bush talk a little bit about clans.
When we were first put here, we didn't know what to eat, and we starved. And we didn't know how to swim in the water, and so we drowned. And we didn't know how to put up a shelter, and so we froze. And we were miserable. And so the Creator told the animals, He told all the animals, because you look at animals, and animals know how to survive in this world. And so He told them, well, those skills that you know, those stories that you know, you tell those people over there so they'll be able to survive. And so those animals came to us, and they talked to us. And they told us how they survived. You know, the rabbit, that rabbit, he said, well, this is how you nurture your family when they're first born. And that wolf, he said, this is how you hunt. You hunt together and you're successful. And the beaver stepped up and he said, this is how you build a strong house. And they all had, the birds, they came over and they said, this is, these berries you can eat and these berries you can't. And I was telling people about Fish Clan, how important, how fundamentally important their lessons were to us. Because when you watch a school of fish, they'll swim and they're graceful. They don't bump into each other, not unless they really have to. And when we gather socially in our powwows and we dance in a dance circle, you watch Indian people and you watch them do that lesson that they learned from the fish. They've been, no matter how many of them there are, when they're dancing out there, they're not bumping into each other. And that's a basic lesson, that's a basic social lesson that we learned from the fish. The fish taught us. Without the use of English language, they taught us just by the way they're living. And that's very important for us socially, because if you get close together and somebody accidentally bumps somebody, well, somebody will accidentally bump somebody back. And after a while, that'll escalate. And we start fighting when we don't really have to. And so they taught us a great lesson in how to maintain peace one with another, that you just simply don't bump into each other. So that's what the Fish Clan taught us. And at the end of all of our lessons, at the end of all of this knowledge, then we had a big celebration. We had a big feast, and we invited all these different animals that taught us how they survive in this world. Because we could talk back and forth back then. And we thanked them, and we exchanged gifts and all that other, like we were taught. And then to honor them people for what the important things that they taught us, we named our families and our communities after those people. And that's how we got the clan system. And I'm happy, like I say, that there are people here today that know who their clans are, because that's a very, very important thing. Now, when you take a look at our social structures before the advent of the European people, you'll see where the clan fits in a very major way. It's all part of a system where we recognized who each other was. We recognized our families. We recognized where the colonies, the settlements that we came from.
Today, folks do things a little differently. Some say if you don't have a clan, you belong to the Martin clan. Others will just acknowledge their family's clan, even if there isn't a straight line of descent. Some say you take the clan of the person who names you.
Most people say there were 7 original clans. The Cran and the Loon were your leadership clans. The Fish were your intellectuals. The Bear, the police and herbal medicine people. The Deer or the Hooved clans were gentle people, poets, peacekeepers. The Marten were warriors. And then the Bird were spiritual leaders. And of course this varied from group to group, but originally this was the way that it was looked at.
So those are the only clans?
No, there are many other clans, some of which are offshoots of others such as Turtle, Thunder, Berry, Duckhawk, and countless others. Certain clans were dreamed on or fasted about, and then created.
What's fasting?
That's going without food or water for a certain amount of time to seek a vision.
Dang, I couldn't do that. I get hungry if I miss breakfast. How long did they fast?
Pretty common to go 4 days, but some went as long as they needed to.
Whoa.
Most clans had their own ceremonies, a bundle which contained different medicines and prescription sticks. They often had their own songs, origin stories, and dances.
Huh. So did all the clan people live in one area?
Oftentimes they would live near each other, or even have an entire village of clanmates. But other times they would live near other clans. It just depended. Let's talk to tribal archivist Blake Norton about the concept of the clan and the Potawatomi leadership roles.
Thanks, guys. The general understanding about clans is they are an old traditional way in which Potawatomi society was formed and structured. Each clan had a responsibility for the tribe as a whole, and each clan had their own distinct responsibilities as well as the participants within each one of them. Usually the clan had a clan leader, who was also their bundle carrier. To assist the clan leader, he had certain assistants who were either called from within his own clan or from reciprocal clans. The clan leader usually derived his responsibilities and things like that from older generations, and these responsibilities were passed down to him. The origins of a lot of these clans, there's usually two understood distinct ways of doing it, one of which was through divine intervention. The individual who formed the clan corresponded or had contact with a spirit who described to them what their responsibilities were for and why they were supposed to become this clan and formulate it. Then that individual would take that information back to the community and explain to them and gain acceptance of this, to which then they would be approved to formulate a clan. The other instance was clans were also, and it was more of a contemporary kind of form of doing it, was that clans could be formed from individuals and their particular exploits in life, most of which were their prowess in battle. One example of this was an individual by the name of Cat. And during an 1850 battle with the Pawnee, he showed exceptional war prowess, and because of this, it was thought that he had supernatural powers. And by doing this, he was actually approved to create his own clan, the Duckhawk clan. Headmen is a term that we use to describe historically leaders who represented certain villages or larger assemblages of people who made up these larger communities, mainly of which are geographic. There are several villages historically that were within the Great Lakes region, and each one of these were led by a particular headman as well as a community-approved council. The headman himself was more of an elected position, whether it be by the tribal council or the actual community itself. He was a leader in his own right, but he served more as like a delegate between neighboring tribes, neighboring Potawatomi communities, as well as non-Potawatomi villages as well. Most of the decisions and things like that were made between the headman and his council, sort of like he had his own cabinet, to where he would appoint people to different positions, whether it be a ceremonial leader, whether it be a war leader, if you will, as well as a spiritual leader. So in a sense, the appointment of each headman had different variables that it was associated with, and that either the community themselves appointed these individuals, again, based on their prowess as either warriors or orators, but it did also take and follow a hereditary line, into which if there was an individual who was a headman, there was an opportunity for their son or for their kin to become headmen as well. However, they had to prove themselves to the community as being strong leaders and strong delegates for that particular village in that particular area. And if not, they could easily be removed and replaced. Something that was difficult for the U.S. government as well as other European occupants to North America was this general autonomy with the different villages and different associated clans and things like that. It was broken up geographically, obviously, to where Potawatomi occupied the entire Great Lakes region. However, due to this autonomy, each village kind of functioned as their own separate community and own separate government within themselves that had differing opinions, differing traits, differing lifestyles, and things like that than others, say, from the western side of Lake Michigan to the eastern side. However, this geographic presence in certain areas also caused a lot of pressure for these communities. So if a certain village was, say, located next to a U.S. or a British fort, then there was a lot of influence and a lot of pressure from those European individuals on this certain village, either to become allies with them or to become subservient to them. In doing so, this is what became really difficult for the U.S. government when they were trying to create and enact treaties with the Potawatomi Nation as a whole. They didn't understand these complexities of communal ties and communal binds that really formed the nation as a whole. So in doing so, they tried to interact with certain individuals that they deemed as representatives for the Potawatomi Nation, when in actuality there were numerous individuals who could speak for the nation. However, they had to do it in more of a communal form.
So, Grandpa, what clan are we?
We are Thunder Clan.
Whoa, I love the thunder. Thunder up, Grandpa.
Maybe someday I will get through this, boy.